Hello everyone and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to be once again on Merry-Go-Round, one of the new ladder maps coming. Very unique in that it is a 3-player map and for the most part getting pretty good reviews across the board. So here we're going to have a TvT, so we're going to be trying out my 3-base build. Again, there's kind of like a third base close to your high ground, and I think it's once again an important position. Much like in Heavy Rain, it establishes a nice little foothold. Although I guess this map more resembles like Daedalus for the initial setup. It's not as important. In Heavy Rain, it also gives you the ability to take over the middle of the map, and these middle bases look really kind of vulnerable. You know, siege tanks below, or even Marines or Hellions running behind the mineral line. There's lots of space behind these mineral lines, so these middle bases don't look too appealing to me. Although I do like expanding towards my opponent, so I might still give them a shot. If there's even more space behind the middle line, I could put a PF behind it, but there's not. Anyways, while we were looking at the map, we were not looking at the game. So this is my 3-base build order. I did scout here that he went for 12 barracks, 13 gas. So it's not gas first, which makes me feel like I'm safe to take my 3rd command center before my turret ring. At least safe in that I'll have my turret ring up in time. Obviously there's other things that turret ring does not handle, but at least I don't feel like I'm going to die to banshees or drop play. So after my commands are at home, I take a gas geyser and then I throw down the bunker at my natural. This bunker is going to defend the way to my main base for quite a while. And then after that bunker's done, the same SCV makes my 3rd base. Loading the command center to low ground. Depending on how vulnerable you think this base is, you may want to spend your first set of gas on making this a PF. If you feel like the 3rd base will go unnoticed long enough, you might want to go high-sec auto-tracking first, so the auto-tracking will be done in time before a drop or banshees arrive. On this map, I don't know. The thing is, when you path across the map from here, it doesn't take you this way through the high ground, or through the base. Your natural pathing takes you through the middle, so you come in this way towards my main. So even though I'm expanding on my 3rd, even though I'm expanding at my 3rd like towards him, his natural path would still never see this. So I'm not sure what's best. Probably it's still probably safe to make this better safe than sorry, and better to make this a planetary. I think that's more important than having high-sec auto tracking done in time. So anyways, planetary, then high-sec. Well, we're getting a turret ring. That was weird, everything disappeared for a second. And when turret ring's done, we'll start taking a rest of our gas geysers, make this a planetary with your next set of gas, then get your factory with the next set of gas. And then we'll work into the 3 starport Raven production. So he did get into my base with a bunch of Hellions, and he lost the medevac coming in, but he got the majority of his stuff out of the medevac, even with high sec done. So that was even-ish, I think. And since I had a much better economic start, he doesn't want to be doing an even-ish trade. It might have been good for him. I mean, obviously he hurt my economy, and me killing Hellions doesn't hurt his economy. But I'm still in a pretty good spot with 45 workers to his 37. I think he killed maybe 6 to 10 SCVs, which is a decent amount. Pretty solid amount, actually. So Raven production has begun. Why do the things keep disappearing? That's kind of funny. He's establishing his 3rd, so he's behind, but not terribly far behind. And of course with orbitals, he can make a stronger army than me. In fact, my opponents always have a stronger army than me if you just look at like pure cost of the army, because I'm only building Ravens. So I'm not really spending any minerals towards my army. Excuse me. Alright. So a couple siege tanks sieging on me there, but yeah, I'm fine. I already got the Ravens out. Two siege tanks are right next to each other. The one you put one seeker into will take an additional 100 damage worth of splash from the two other seekers. But if he's not close enough, he'll only take an additional 50 splash from the other two seekers. So that's what happened here. So he took 150 hit points. Sometimes, depending on where his support army is, when you get those siege tanks down to 10 hit points, which happens quite often, you can actually just pull SCVs and finish it off. Because the siege tank will remain shooting at the planetary by default, so you can safely actually pull SCVs. It's kind of fun killing siege tanks with SCVs. So coming to his base, seeing if I can get some counterattack damage done. I feel like this is a strong time for me, but I do see a couple Thors. Snipe a siege tank, but mostly head back. Oh, I didn't even notice I flew right over one of his bases. So he's trying to establish a fourth and a fifth. I am doing the same. Expanding towards him. Yeah, that's cute. Threw down a bunch of auto turrets. I didn't actually mind doing that because auto turrets are the best use of Raven energy, I think, versus Thors. They're not good versus Thors, but they're better than Seeker missiles and PDD, that's for sure. At the same time, I am going up to Fusion Core at home. I should probably be throwing down another armory. Oh, I did, yeah, so when I see Thors, I want to go to Fusion Core and a second armory, so to start upgrading my battlecruisers. Probably I want to add a couple more starports too at that point. Ravens, you don't need many starports for because they spend through your grass so quickly, but BCs don't spend through your grass as quickly as Ravens do, so you can probably afford more starports. Also sending out random command centers, again floating minerals. I didn't really know what to do with them. Like, I got enough bases to see what I can get done here. So here I'm trying to get my battlecruiser 7 range away. That one was 6 range away, so I had to move it. Because I figure, you know what, I got high sick auto tracking, and that's such a rare upgrade, I doubt he has it. Couple command centers in his base. It would be nice if I got one up here, actually. Did miss some attacks, though. Our units lost is about even, which probably means he's been winning these attacks slightly. Because I'm sure I was ahead from the early game. Got a really good battlecruiser count now. He got my planetaries shooting at his planetaries. Oh man, I almost got that one down before he started repairing. Damn, man. Bring the BCs over. I could have finished that. Well, I don't know if I want to bring the BCs over against those Vikings. Looks like I lost the majority of my Ravens. Yeah, just down to 2 Ravens now. But with this many battlecruisers, I feel like I can kind of win the game as long as I won't get kited terribly by the Vikings. Oh man, my PS are not switching targets. There, they finally, for one shot, they shot a Thor. So here I'm just going to try to win outright, and obviously leaving the protection of my missile turrets leaves me open to getting kited by Vikings, and the way you can counter that is getting enough Vikings of your own. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually watching this fight, so half my army's not even getting involved, and I also ate the Seeker missiles before. You can see in the production tab though I'm making 11 Vikings at a time to his 6 at a time, so I think eventually I'll get some air dominance. And then obviously with this many battlecruisers already on the field, that air dominance is going to equate to a lot of work for him to stay alive. just threw down random command centers around the map. Again, had a good mineral float, so I figured while I got him on the defense, might as well just randomly expand. If it gets shut down, whatever. I mean, it's 400 minerals. But it gives me the option to take a bunch of gas geysers if, for instance, I want to go back to mess Raven or something. He's actually getting the better secret missiles this game, which is kind of hilarious. Don't want my BCs chasing down, so I switch my BCs to killing the planetary. And I believe with that air dominance, yeah, he just goes ahead and quits the game. So if you feel ahead in the game, you can always add in Vikings, and I think that gives you the ability to push out a lot. Obviously, you need enough battlecruisers to kill the Thors, if that's the tech choice you chose. But without Vikings, you gotta play defensive if you're doing Ravens or BCs or a combination of the two. Just because like Vikings can kite you too well. I guess the only exception to that is if he's massing Widow Mines as a defense. That you need a well, you can push out, but you need a really good base of Ravens. Because as the Widow Mines approach, you need to run away and be casting Seeker missiles as you run away, and that even with Drilling Claws, that usually allows you to get off the Seekers before the Widow Mines do their thing. But that can be hard to micro though. If you kind of miss out, if you miss it once, those Widow Mines will just like obliterate your battlecruiser force. So with that, we'll call it the end of this video. And we're going to do one more video on merry-go-round, and this time we're going to try out the Mass Ravens versus Protoss, because I figure that's a build that has some potential. The main weakness with my Mass Raven versus Protoss is the blink, and this isn't the greatest blink map. You can blink up here, and that's about it. This chasm's pretty big. This distance looks a lot closer than it actually is. You gotta remember because of the perspective of the high ground to low ground. And this is double high ground to low ground. That, like for instance, this distance right here from this edge to there is not actually that far away. It's more like this far away when you take away the perspective. So really he can only blink within this area of your base. From the low ground anyways, from your natural he can do other things. But I will off the ramp, so I don't have to worry about that. Anyways, yeah. So we'll hop into the next game. So I'll end this video here. Thank you for tuning in. Check the description for a thumbs up link and hit that follow button or subscribe, whatever it is on YouTube. I think it's subscribe because I put out a lot of content of Starcraft 2 on this channel. I'm sure you guys will enjoy. So thank you everyone and goodbye.